Hello and welcome back. There are a lot of new faces in this tournament, and that's one of the exciting things about it. But they're not just randos either. Top 64, that sounds like a lot until you consider that there were over 4,000 submissions for qualifiers. These are the top 64 from that. So there's a lot of skill here already. This is a knockout bracket. It's direct elimination, which means if you lose, you're out. No more Neo Barcelona for you. Runners have a set amount of time with unlimited resets to grind for the best time they can for each level. In this case, from the top 64, just 10 minutes. That's a third of what we saw in the top 32 matches, so you have to make quicker decisions, but the sectors are usually a little smaller too, which is a little more amenable to it. So it's a little more fast-paced from a game that was pretty fast-paced to begin with.
No, precisely. In the speedrunning world, we know nothing but getting faster and faster. As GameguySD starts it up, Offdance a little behind, but starting his up as well. And which sector is this?
I'm gonna have to take a look through the end here. They're starting to blur together for me a little bit.
Yeah, they are.
I think this might be 1-3. I'm not sure. I did get a chance to play the game a little bit, but not long enough to have all these memorized exactly, but it's one we haven't seen yet. Certainly, we're seeing a lot of those laser walls, and that is going to necessitate major use of that teleportation dagger. Yes, you heard right. Teleportation dagger. You fling it at the wall, and as soon as it hits, while it's still on screen, up until the moment you die, you can teleport to where it lands, and that is obviously pretty much the central mechanic of the game, and obviously one of the key components also to a good speedrun, because it lets you fly across the screen. It cannot go the entire width of the screen, but it can come pretty close, and the best runners have utilized it to their advantage. You also get a sword. There's a power sword. You can use it to kill enemies, but speedrunners have mostly eschewed that because it's a lot slower than, again, the teleportation dagger.
Yeah, the teleportation dagger, and also you can kill enemies with your dash ability. So dashing will also kill enemies, assuming they're on the ground. There are some that it doesn't because you don't reach them. But yeah, dashing and like you're saying, teleportation dagger, definitely the two fastest way to maneuver here. And you're seeing both of these runners. I mean, neither one of them are really going for a solid time here.
No.
It doesn't look like they really had a solid plan in mind. So they're just doing some practice for now, taking the first few minutes. And if you look closely enough, you can see some of the preciseness of what they're actually trying to do.
Yeah,
I believe Offdance was kind of standing there at the end, trying to do what looked like almost a frame perfect ending there, to teleport straight to the exit. So some really tight maneuverings. That's why you're seeing them kind of just practice here and there.
Yeah.
Haven't really dead set themselves to anything.
Game Guy wanted a reset, and rather than go to restart, he just walked into the nearest laser wall, because that's actually quicker, because look at this countdown here on your left. It's going to be 3, 2, 1, but it's not going to be 3 seconds. It's going to be more like 1 second, and then it gets right into it. And the load times are so quick, too, that at that point, you might as well just walk into a laser wall and reset quicker.
Precisely.
Yeah, they're just scoping this out. Have you ever brought a pet home for the first day and you open up the carrier and they just sort of sniff around for the first couple hours? Try to get the lay of the land? That's what we're seeing here in speedrun form.
Essentially. That's exactly what we're seeing here.
Not as cute, but still. Same idea. Same idea.
Yeah.
Same idea. You can see those bests there, by the way, in the left and right. A 10.63 for Game Guy and 12.64 for Offdance. Pretty meaningless at this stage, though. Yeah,
exactly. And you're seeing this enemy right here. See, you saw Game Guy just dash right through him. Offdance, I'm sorry, he teleported right through him. Offdance earlier tried to dash, but that is one of the enemies you cannot kill with a dash. You have to sword it or teleport through it. So having two of those enemies on this little course here is going to make things really difficult for these runners. You can't just bust through them. You got to be pretty precise.
Yeah, I mean, so the runs we saw earlier, the really good ones by the end, the enemies would hamper them when they were starting out, but once they got good, they basically just flew by them. They just try to find the route where they don't have to engage with them. But some of these sectors, you got to figure, it's going to be a lot tougher to do that because they are handcrafted. So sometimes you're going to be forced to confront them and do those kind of slower maneuvers to get past them. But if the runners can avoid the enemies at all, they're going to.
Precisely. Yeah, there actually are a lot of enemies on here, more than the last one. I'm very interested to see what these runners kind of decide on in the last few minutes. Really see go after. As we're seeing, GameguySD already kind of going after it here.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah,
he's flying through it. I feel like he's starting to tighten now. So again, it's only 10 minutes rather than 30 like our last match was. And after the first 3 or 4 have been burned here, you can tell Game Guy is now going into, okay, I'm actually trying to get high scores now. I feel like I know this. Look at him fly through. And he looks pretty, it's not optimized, but there are not a lot of big errors there already.
Yeah, precisely. And you even saw at the end, you know, the little optimizations, he threw the teleport crystal down so he could fall faster. You know,
Gravity
not really
is a
saving much
slouch.
time, but decimals.
Yeah, gravity is not nearly enough. We need to shoot downward, and you can do that with the teleportation dagger. You're in the air, you shoot it at your feet, and you fly straight down. It's at least twice as quick as falling normally.
Gosh, Game Guy, if he would have got that last ending, that would have been an insane time just already.
Yeah,
Offdance gonna have definitely looking like his opponent is setting it in. I wonder if what he's looking to do here doesn't look quite as clean as Game Guy. He's still trying to figure it out. Got a few more minutes to kind of do that before he really needs to get serious.
Well, Offdance is still doing kind of the slow motion version. I'm going to go all the way through it, and then I'm going to try to speed it up. And I wouldn't blame him. You know, even though it's great to be kind of getting to this optimization level like Game Guy is already.
All right,
we're just now hitting the halfway
to
point.
Tell everybody that this game will be available September 30th, as you can see in the bottom right, on all platforms: Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, even Switch. You can get this game on. It's extremely fun, extremely fast-paced. It is co-op and single-player, so no excuses why you shouldn't get it. It truly is amazing. September 30th is the release date. Exclamation point Aeon in the chat. Go ahead and save it to your wish list. Get it on there.
Yeah, there are 3 or 4 moves from Game Guy. I want to see it. Here it comes. Watch the left and right. It's coming up right. Well, he's going to die and start over. But there's 3 or 4 moves in quick succession that he's just got down, and they are just a sight to see. Coming right up around here, I think. Let's see, right here. Right. Yeah, see, right there, he's been making it through that part very, very quickly every time. Had a little trouble that time, but he's been banging it out, and the whole thing takes about 2 seconds for maybe 6 or 7 major swoops across the screen.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, like no time at all. So
Yeah,
I'm like really focused in on like watching these two run.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, you're supposed to talk. Don't just gawk at their maneuvers. The best times have not changed for a little bit though. That 10-6-3 from Game Guy, still the best here, and there are only just under 4 minutes left. I wouldn't blame Offdance for taking longer, taking maybe the entire first 5 minutes to sort of go slow through the stage and kind of figure out what they want to do, and then spend the last 5 minutes trying to optimize that. Game Guy got to that point earlier. Is that better? I don't know. It's just a different way of approaching it. There it is, right there. Game Guy getting a little better, but yeah, right there. The 3 or 4 in a row right there, where they go up and then back, and it's not just that they're going left or right, they're going up and down simultaneously, and it's just really a joy to watch.
Oh, it really is. Truly is. All right, Offdance checking the leaderboard there. Wants to know where Game Guy
look at that
is
drop
at.
from Game Guy, 8.83. That was the run he was looking for, and it will not surprise me if that ends up being the best score, whether he lowers it or not. But Offdance finally breaks the 12-second barrier. They're starting to speed up on this run just a little bit. They were taking it slow in the beginning, and they're starting to push it. They still seem like they're just a notch below what Game Guy's doing right now, but there's 3 minutes left, and again, it only takes 1 run.
Yeah, exactly. 1 run. Came down to the wire on the last race. We'll see if it happens again. But Offdance looking like he's just having some trouble getting those real precise throws, real precise movements in. I would not be surprised if it was more nerves than anything.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that. There's a temperament thing here. So it seems like Offdance is trying to make sure they finish each time, almost. Right? Like, it's more important that you hit the shot, even though eventually, if you're going to win, you're going to have to hit the fast shot, which means you're going to take the fast shot, which means you're going to miss more. You have to be very comfortable with failure to win its time. Whoa! Game Guy just kind of pulled off some maneuver and went through the wall.
Yeah, I don't know what
That's some kind of exploit. Can they reproduce that? What was that? Hang on a second. Let's keep an eye on the left here. Game Guy might think, you know what? I feel pretty good about my score. I should explore this. And we just found a little exploit in real time. It's right past here. Nope, not trying it again. I don't know what that was.
I didn't really see what happened. I just saw him in like the weird spot.
But the thing is, I'm not even sure if it's the kind of game where that helps you. This isn't Mario 64 where you get to skip 30 stars because you found your way through a door. You know, if you take a couple seconds to do it, guess what? No more benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's not even trying to do it anymore, and I think he realizes that's interesting. I'm gonna study that in my own time, but I don't think it's gonna actually help my time.
Yeah, you never know with these games. You can find anything and everything. I remember there was a dev, he was streaming it, and I think it's just on like the Steam site I saw it. He found like a small little exploit he was playing, so I don't,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's not like it's helping him like you said,
No.
but it is like really cool to see and watch.
This game has not been released yet, and already we need to create a glitchless category for it. But I mean, I don't think it matters. I actually don't think it is. I don't know if I would call it an exploit. It's only an exploit if it helps you save a lot of time. And I'm thinking even if you did it perfectly, it might be a wash.
Yeah.
But
So,
if you're
oh my
watching,
gosh, GameguySD, that was insane.
Is that a new low?
That's yes. I think that's like 8.12 or something.
8.7, I think. Yeah, there we go. And that's going to do it almost certainly. Offdance is going to need to pull out their best run. And they're doing solid, but you can just see the difference, which is, look at that. Offdance is missing jumps and still, look at that, until the very end, still trying to complete, right? There's less tolerance for failure there. Game Guy is like, I messed up, we're done. Starting over. That's not going to be a good enough time. Whereas Offdance has been more about how many different 12-second runs can I get, even though only your lowest run is the one that counts.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, I think he was just trying to finish the end as much as he could, but 10 minutes, not a lot of time. Just wasn't able to pull it together, unfortunately. But insane gameplay from Game Guy here. Definitely deserving to move on. Absolutely stellar performance.
I think basically Offdance needed to switch to that kind of optimization mode a little sooner than they did.
Probably, yeah. I think he had like, what, 3 minutes left, a little more by the time we really started to grind it out. So yeah, probably not enough.
Yeah. But still a good showing from them. Just ran into the freight train there with Game Guy, who again found an actual clip through a wall. Not that it helped them very much. Very exciting though. 8.17 at the end, an excellent time. Wins by about 3.5 seconds, which in this context is significant.
Yeah, definitely came out and kind of blew his opponent out of the water there. But that is not it. He will have one more opponent to face here in just a bit, because the next match we have is another top 64. Going to be SCP-105 versus that Beb. Both of some crazy names here. This is not even like normal English lettering, it looks like. SCP versus Beb here. Next match, another 10-minute round of 64. And just a couple minutes while we get them all squared away. We will see you then.